Greetings, everyone, and welcome to a very, very special episode of the Media Files. Yeah, so somebody celebrated a birthday this week. Yeah, so, what can I say? Getting old sucks, but hey, that's just part of life. Just gotta deal with it, move on. Anyways, I figured I'd show off what I got for my birthday because family members didn't know what I wanted. And they figured, hey, just give him money and let him go pick what he wants. So I'm like, okay. So what did I get? Well, I got quite a number of Blu-Rays and DVDs to add to the collection, a couple of games, and I found myself a few books. So what are they? Find out after the titles. Welcome back. So, let's go through the books, what I got first here. So I found myself a couple of movie tie-in books, as well as a trilogy of sci-fi novels. Yeah. First up, we have the movie-written related book entitled Pearl Harbor. Yeah, the novelization of the script written by none other than Randall Wallace, who also wrote Braveheart. Yeah. Granted, the movie is great for what it is. Yes, I know people despise it because it's Michael Bay and all this and that. I think it's probably one of his better pictures, to be honest. I mean, you haven't really had, mass destruction on that scale really since, Tora Tora Tora. So, so speaking of World War II, we have another movie World War II novelization entitled Wind Talkers. Yeah, now it stars Nicolas Cage, and it's written by Max Allan Collins, who is mainly known for doing the Road to Perdition series, as well as lots of other really cool novelizations, and he even wrote the screenplay to the movie, which stars Tom Hanks. If you haven't seen that yet, see it. So with that, I figured, hey, interesting book, considering I have seen the original film and I have seen the remake with Ryan Reynolds. You should know what that is. Figured nothing like a little spooky story to tell. Yeah. We have the Amityville Horror. Ooh, yeah. Now, I've never read the book. I've always wanted to, and I managed to find it. And mind you, all these books that I found, they were only $0.25 a piece at a thrift store. So I'm like, okay. So with that, I found this interesting sci-fi trilogy that it just kind of reminded me of War of the Worlds. So yeah, and I'm like, okay. So here we have John Christopher's The Tripods. Yeah, the first book is entitled When the Tripods Came. I have never read the book, but it just sounds interesting. Yeah, I mean, the premise sounded interesting. When it comes to alien invasions, bad things come in threes. 3 landings. 1 in England, 1 in Russia, and 1 in the United States. 3 long legs crushing everything in their path with 3 metallic arms, snaking out to embrace then discard their helpless victims. 3 evil beings called the Tripods, which will change life on this planet forever. And that's only the beginning. Yeah. So apparently there is, I believe, 4 books of the series, I think. I don't know. I know I mentioned that it was a trilogy. This is what I found. So I believe that there is a 4th book, which I believe is The White Mountains, which is that one there. I believe that's the 4th book, but the reason why I was calling it a trilogy is because it says 2 and 3 on the other books. Yes. Speaking of the second book, we have The City of Gold and Lead. Yeah. Now it just sounded interesting. Like I said, I'm like, it'd be interesting, book reading for at nighttime and whatnot. So what can you say? And finally, we have The Pool of Fire. Yeah. So with that, I have 3 out of the 4 books. So I guess it is now a quadrilogy. So hopefully I can track down the 4th book in the series. Yeah. So with that, we got quite a lot more to go through, so hang on just a second. Okay, now, I found a couple more PS3 games. Yes, not PS4, PS3. Yeah. So with this game, I have been trying to find it for ages, and I knew I should have bought it when it was at Walmart for like 10 to 15 bucks, almost over a decade ago, it seems like. We have none other than God of War Collection. Yeah, now this particular edition features both God of War and God of War 2 that was released back on the PS2. Now it's been remastered in high definition. Now, if I could find what I believe it's the Origins collection, then I'll have all 5 games on the PS3. Yes. And speaking of 3 games, I have 1 and 3. I do not have the second one. I have played the second one on the 360, but I was like, you know what? I hate having games on multiple systems. Why not just have, all of it together for one? I found Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Yeah. Now, I've played the game, absolutely love it. The score is amazing. Thank you, Hans Zimmer, for at least writing the theme to it and for getting Lauren Balfe to write the score for it. Oh, yeah. But hold on. There's more. Yeah, so with that, this thrift store that I went to just kind of went and found that all of their Blu-rays were $3, but they were trying to get rid of a whole bunch of stuff and to make room for whatever they had in the back, and they decided, hey, you know what? Buy 3, get 3 free. I'm like, okay. So first of all, we have a couple of comic book movies. One of them I have been wanting to see for ages. I've only seen bits and pieces of it, but I know that the Blu-ray is really hard to track down because it's basically been released by Scream Factory. Yeah, I'm talking about Wes Craven's Swamp Thing. Yeah, now I have been wanting to see this movie for ages, and thank God they managed to get some bonus features on this, because I know that the original DVD has nothing. And I know that the picture quality is amazing on this, and I cannot wait to watch it. So speaking of which, we have another Green-related character. Yeah, this time played by Seth Rogen. Yeah, we have none other than the Green Hornet. Yeah. Now, maybe a little hard to see there because of the packaging, the way that it is kind of designed and whatever. Kind of see-through, for the 3D effects kind of going on. But, hey, what can I say? I mean, I know it's cheesy and corny, but, a lot of people didn't like it. But, hey, I thought it was a good movie for what they were trying to do. I mean, they're trying to bring back a character that hasn't been around for 60 years. And, hey, kudos to Seth Rogen for pulling it off. So, speaking of comic books, this one I have been lazy at getting to see because I've seen the first one, been wanting to check out the second one, been lazy. I figured it's time to basically quit being lazy and watch it. The Suicide Squad. Yeah. Now, I know this movie looks hilarious. It got rave reviews, and let's just say I cannot wait to actually sit down and finally watch it. So with that, I found one of the newest war films that came out, and it sounded interesting. And it stars basically Kang from Ant-Man and the Wasp, as well as the character of what's his name from Top Gun Maverick, the guy who we thought was playing Iceman's son, who basically kind of somewhat is, but he's really not. Yeah, Glenn Powell. We're talking about Devotion. Yeah, now this movie looks really, really good, considering the fact that it's set in the Korean War. And, we don't have really a whole lot of movies set in that era, which it sounded interesting. Up next, I have one of my favorite all-time classic puppet-related movies. Yeah, I mean, there's only really 2, If it's not this one, it's that one. I'm, of course, talking about The Dark Crystal. Yeah. Now, what's I love about this is that they had the the oh, whoops, that they had the Digibook edition, which has lots of cool behind the scenes pictures and whatnot, and have you, and it looks such. I hope the picture quality is good on the Blu-ray. Obviously, it should. It's Blu-ray. Up next, we have Viola Davis, and basically what looks like a female-led version of Gladiator. Yeah, we're talking The Woman King. Yeah, it looks very interesting. The trailer looks pretty cool, and I'm like, hey, why not give it a try? I mean, it was one of the freebie ones that I got. So, up next, speaking of African-American actors, we have probably one of the best movies from the 60s, Sidney Poitier in The Heat of the Night. Yeah, he plays Mr. Tibbs. Oh, yeah. I have not actually seen this movie, but hey, I figured, why not give it a try? So, speaking of Academy Award-winning movies, this one I have not seen, been wanting to see it. They actually had it. I'm talking about none other than Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Yeah, now I know it's like a martial arts movie. It's kind of like, it's a multiverse type of movie. I'm not quite sure exactly how to put it, but it just sounded amazing, and then obviously it is because it won Best, Picture as well as 6 other, Oscars. So kudos and congrats go to Short Round and everybody else on that movie. So speaking of which, yeah, let's dive back into the realm of computer technology. Yeah. So with this one, number 4 in the series, yeah, Keanu Reeves returns not only as John Wick, which is coming soon, he returned as Neo in The Matrix Resurrections. Yeah, now I've seen the movie. I just kind of waited for it to go down in price because I didn't want to pay full price for it. And for what they were trying to tell with the story, it's really, really good. You just kind of have to put your mind past the fact that, it's the 4th movie of the franchise, and it's kind of meh. So, speaking of trilogies, thank you, Kino Lorber, for doing this series. I'm, of course, talking about none other than Fistful of Dollars. Yeah, the Sergio Leone Dollars trilogy. This is completely loaded with extras. We will go through this in a close-up video at a future date. And they also had, for a few dollars more, loaded with even more features. Oh, yeah. And finally, last but certainly not least, I had to get the 3rd movie in the trilogy, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Now, what's so cool about this particular version that Kino Lorber got their hands on the original theatrical cut, which has not been released since it originally came out on DVD way back in the early 2000s. And that was just the bare bones trilogy set way back in the day. Thank God. It looks amazing. So with that, 1 second. And finally, we have the DVDs. Yes. So speaking of Sergio Leone, we have probably one of the greatest gangster films ever made, right up there with the Godfather trilogy. Now with this film, it has been released only twice, with the original theatrical cut and the director's cut. But this one's different. This is the extended director's cut. Yeah. Now with this one, it's almost 5 hours long, maybe even more than that. It says it runs 251 minutes. So, I mean, if that's not one of the best gangster movies, I don't know what is. So, speaking of gangster movies, I reacquired another version of the Godfather trilogy. Yes. Now, with this particular version, this has not only the Coppola restorations of the first and second films, but it is the only set to feature the newest cut of The Godfather 3 entitled The Godfather Coda. So, as far as I know, this is the only set where you can get the DVD version of that, as far as I know. So, up next, we have basically a few multi-packs that I found. Yes. Now, granted, I've heard of the original film. I've seen the remake with Dwayne Johnson, but I had no idea that they were originally a trilogy from way back in the 70s. What am I talking about? I'm talking about none other than the Walking Tall trilogy. Yeah, featuring none other than Joe Don Baker and Bo Svensson playing Buford Pusser. Yeah. Now, I've never seen the original film, and I've never seen the other two films that go with it. Now, I know that there is two remakes with Kevin Sorbo, who plays the character that The Rock plays, which those will be interesting when I can find them. So those will be a fun thing to watch. So up next, figured why not throw a little bit of a comedy in here? Need some comedies or whatever. I found one of the best writers, probably one of the best filmmakers ever made, especially from the 80s, Mr. John Hughes. Yeah, we have the John Hughes 5 movie collection. Yeah. Now with this, it comes with Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, She's Having a Baby, Pretty in Pink, and Some Kind of Wonderful. And what's great about these is that all of these versions of the film are the more collector's editions that have behind-the-scenes featurettes and what have you, except for She's Having a Baby, which basically all it has is just the trailer. But that's more than enough for me because, hey, you got to go with some classic John Hughes, right? You got to have that in your collection. So, speaking of which, found another collection set of a trilogy of horror films. Yeah. We have none other than 90s horror with I Know What You Did Last Summer trilogy. Yeah. This came out around the time when Scream really kicked into gear, started doing the whole teen, horror aspect or whatever. But, I've only seen the first one. I've never actually seen the other two. But, for like $3, why not give it a try? You know what I mean? Especially with the other two. If I don't like them, then I'm like, I can always just get rid of this and find the first one. So, but it's got, I believe it has extras and all that stuff. It just doesn't specify on the back of the case. However, though, one thing that's kind of interesting is that they have the first film in widescreen. The second film, though, is in full screen, which is really weird unless they shot it that way, but I seriously doubt it. Or that could be, actually, I think that's a typo because the 2.41 aspect ratio is a widescreen, so that could just be a typo. I'll have to pop the disc in and see. But also the third film is in widescreen, so that could just be a typo. But, So, finally, the last DVD that I managed to get, which was free, by the way, which was buy 3, get 3 free. Can't beat this deal. In the 90s, you had your cheesy, military movies that kind of continued on from the 80s with like Commando and Missing in Action and whatnot. So here comes along a film that has kind of deals with a specific type of military personnel entitled Sniper. Yeah. But with this collection, though, we have all 8 of them. Yeah, the Ultimate Sniper collection. Now, this collection, it's been re-released over and over and over and over and over again over the years. But, as far as I know, Assassin's End is the newest one out of the Sniper set. And to have all 8 of them in one collection, that's actually a pretty good deal. I mean, granted, I know that they're not really going to have any bonus features on them or whatnot, but hey, if you're just looking for some fun, cheesy action, hey, you can't go wrong with cheapy military movies. I mean, granted, you know, some of them actually have some pretty big name actors in them, because I know Billy Zane shows up in one of them, and Tom Berenger stars in pretty much all of them. So, you know, I mean, he's actually kind of known for being a real tough and gruff type of guy and whatnot. So, you know, and so yeah, with that, yeah, that's basically what I got for my birthday this year. Because, you know, oh, actually, no, I take that back. Actually, I got myself a couple of PS4 games now that I mention it. Let me pull them out here real quick. And yeah, so I completely forgot about these. So I ended up finding a couple of thrift stores or whatever, you know, and I was surprised that they had a few of them. Now, a couple of them I bought at Disc Replay with a gift card that I had. But first game that I found was God of War. Yeah, now this is the fourth game officially in the series, if you go with God of War 1, 2, and 3. But this is the newest one for the PS4. Now, the newest one obviously is Ragnarok, which I don't have, but I plan on getting sometime soon when the price goes down, because I don't want to pay, you know, a buttload of money for it, because what if I don't like it, you know. However, though, for these two games, Disc Replay had them marked down for pretty cheap. I was kind of surprised. We have none other than the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection. Yeah, all three original PS3 games remastered for the PS4. Yeah. Now, granted, I actually have not actually finished all three of them. I'm in multiple parts, different areas of each game, so eventually I'll get to all of them. And then now I can also play the side game entitled The Lost Legacy. Yeah, now this is the side game that basically takes place, I believe it's in between 3 and 4, I believe. You know, I have no idea, but I'll kind of figure that out once I play the game. And finally, one game that I did find at Disc Replay, I've been trying to find for quite a while. I've played the series basically since it first came out on the PS2. Was extremely excited that they were going to release it, what I thought was going to be on the PS3, but nope, it came out on the PS4 instead. We have none other than the return of one of the most gaming badasses of all time, Dante in Devil May Cry 5. Yeah, now the disc is not in here because I'm currently playing it at the moment. And man, I tell you what, I'm kind of slow because I've been trying to get back into gaming and stuff like that, and it's it's a little hard when you're not playing games and then you don't get used to it. It takes you a while to get back into the groove again. But overall, I mean, I'm just absolutely loving it, and you know, I just hope that they at least bring out a sixth game, which I think is coming in the series, but I hope that it won't be just a PS5 exclusive. I'm hoping at least. But if not, hey, I'll get a PS5 maybe someday down the road. Yeah. So with that, that pretty much concludes this video. It's probably going to be a little bit long, but I know I have some editing that I have to do. I had to reduce a little bit of it here and there, but, you know. So with that, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I have some new videos that were posted just recently. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.